Alright, what up people? It's your boy Chig from Green Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new review of the Arsenal versus Bournemouth game. A very belated review. I'll explain that in a second. But we actually won, as predicted by me. I predicted 3-0. I felt like it would be a comfortable game, and so it proved. Before I go into the game, let me quickly explain why this is late. It was actually my cousin's birthday. And as I record this now, it's just ticking over to 3 a.m. As I record this in the early hours of Sunday. So sorry to all the people on Twitter who are probably eagerly awaiting the midnight upload. It probably won't reach you guys until UK morning time. So depending on where you are around the world. So apologies for that. It is what it is, family. And that's a lot of the reason why I didn't go to the game, because I had an opportunity to go to the game. So I was kind of bummed about, and then didn't even have the opportunity to watch it at home. I actually watched it from my cousin's place in Leicester. So yeah, that was it was an interesting game. What can I say? I mean, I think the things that we learned from it. So one thing you'll notice about me is I'll never use the phrase papering over the cracks. I think it's an overused phrase by a lot of gooners, and I never tend to use it just because I hate the phrase. I've heard it too many times. Kind of like that Happy song from Pharrell Williams. It just, you liked it the very first time you heard it, and then about the 80,000th time you heard it, you thought, oh, for fuck's sake. So you won't necessarily hear me say it. For me, I'm just going to take the game for what it was. You know, I thought it was a good performance by us. I thought it was a poor performance by Bournemouth. I knew going into the game that I felt like Bournemouth were a perfect opponent for us. And that's why I was confident. You know, I think you had a lot of people that were overly worried going into that game. And in my mind, I'm thinking, but Bournemouth are not a Stoke, you know? They're not going to rough you up. You know, with Eddie Howe, he tries to get his teams playing very expansive football, which plays into our hands, quite frankly. I know that when we went to their ground, we drew 3-3 with them, but their ground is a different kettle of fish. Their pitch is smaller. We can't seem to play on smaller pitches these days, which is a lot of the reason why we struggled to Chelsea away, which I know is an ominous sign for next week, but I'll handle that in my preview next week. But in the Emirates, I just felt like we'd played them off the park, and so it proved. And it was that guy who was on a tear. I tell you, that motherfucker must have been listening to a lot of criticism over the past couple of weeks, because he played like a man possessed. There were 3 players I watched today: Mesut, Lacazette, and Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck caught my damn attention, because I think much like everybody else, when we saw that Alexis was left behind on the bench, I mean, I think all of us were kind of like, huh? How does that work? But then as the game unraveled, you just saw Danny Welbeck just playing like a man possessed. I mean, not only did he grab 2 goals, 2 decent goals. I mean, I know a lot of people say, oh, but the first one came off his shoulder. Listen, he was there. He was there ready to take that chance. I don't give a fuck if it came off his left bollock. As long as the ball goes in, I couldn't give a shit. So I'm all for it. I thought the second one was a beautiful finish. Kind of hit it on the fadeaway. Lovely, lovely finish. Lacazette, that's what a £50 million striker does when you start him, Arsene. Beautiful, beautiful finish. The kid just knows where the goal is. Just face him, point him at the goal. He knows what to do. That's basically Lacazette. I think much like everybody else, we're all eager to see what Lacazette, Ozil and Sanchez can do at the same time on the pitch. I think that's what we're all personally waiting for. But this was a decent performance. Much like, I mean, there was to be honest, it didn't come across on TV as much as people who were actually there said. Like, people who were actually there said that, you know, Alexis was really getting booed. On TV, it didn't come quite across quite that strong. listen, we shouldn't be booing any of our fucking players, especially when they ain't even touched the ball. Never mind one of our best player in the squad, regardless of whether or not he wants to go or not, he's still here. So while he's still here, we should treat him properly and not on this booing shit. But all in all, I'm happy, pleased, and probably until next week. But we'll save that for then, shall we? So onwards and upwards to Cologne, and I'll drop my preview on that probably Monday evening-ish for that. Next week, as you guys know, I'll be doing a live show with Mems, Colin, and I'm hoping Lee. But you probably noticed with Lee's previews, which if you're not following him already, go and follow him at Gonna Bang. He seems to be going to a lot of games lately, so I might need to have a chat with him just to see if he's still able to do the show next week. But potentially, myself, Lee, and Mems, and Colin will be on next week's Chelsea review, probably talking about an ass whooping, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. So yeah, do stay tuned for that, and the best way to do that is by hitting that subscribe button. So for all you guys that are not used to my material, this is what I do. I sometimes have guests on, and next week will be one of those times. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to crash that content. Similarly, as always, please crush, destroy, take advantage, just beat the crap out of that like button for me. You know I appreciate it every time you guys do it. And also comment. You know, I'm getting more and more comments these days, and it's harder to keep up. So do hit that comment button. I try to interact with each and every one of you. And quite frankly, I just mute or block the haters that do come on the page. So I interact one way or another, let's put it that way. All right, people, I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.